Allan at Allan's Master Powerlifting Journey here tonight. Just a little bicep workout. A little bicep workout. My main sets were just the 60. Well, actually, I started off at the 25s. I did that for 10. And of course, I'm going to repeat this because there's nobody on here now. But this is just for people if they happen to watch it later on. I started off with 25s. I went to 30s and then 50s. And then I went to the main sets were the 60s for 10 and the 70s for 6. Pretty bad. Yeah, it's getting better. The 70s looked better this time than I only tried it one time last week. So that's going to be my goal, to be able to really control those 70s for 10. I'll be happy with that. That's about as high as I need to go with that. I'll just really I just want to conquer those 70-pound dumbbells for curls. I'm not going to go any higher than that. There's no real need to. I'm just going to upload it to your videos. Okay, good. My video got uploaded. Yeah, because I did 6. They were kind of sloppy a little bit, more than a little bit, but with 70-pound dumbbells. Last time, I think I only got barely 5. So but the next time I'd like to get 7 or 8, but under control, most of them, That's called progressive resistance. I just did some biceps tonight. I started off with 25-pound dumbbells to 30s to 50s. Then I did a pretty good set with the 60s for 10. Dumbbell curls, seated dumbbell curls, 60-pound dumbbells. And then I did the 70s with kind of a sloppy set for 6, but it was better than the last one. I was just saying I want to be able to control the 70s. I'm not going to go any higher than that. I want to be able to control those to the best of my ability. I haven't really been. I stopped doing biceps for a long time. I was just concentrating on the 3 big lifts: the bench, deadlift, and squat. All I was doing really, and I did very little other than that for a couple of years almost. Of course, some rows that stopped for a while. I started doing those again, the barbell rows. I started adding a lot more bodybuilding stuff into my workout, and I think it's going to help. It will help prevent injuries. Hello, how you doing? Welcome. I was at a powerlifting meet. Oh God, when was it? 6 months ago or so, and I had stopped doing all kinds of like the assistant workout, and I had 390 going for. I think it was my final third attempt. And I got it, no problem. But it felt like my biceps were going to tear because I hadn't been working. It was a weak point. Yeah, I don't think I'm looking shredded, but I don't. But thank you. I stopped doing, but like I said, I stopped doing it for a long time. And then on the deadlift too, I felt like I was going to tear my bicep, man, because they were weak. I hadn't been training them, so I started training them again. Probably it's been over 2 or 3 months now. Do I like heavy shrug? No, I hate doing shrugs, actually, to be honest with you. I find it the most boring exercise, but they do work. They are a good exercise for your traps, but I haven't done them, and I actually do it sometimes at the top of a deadlift. That's what Mike Birch taught me. He taught me, like, if you do a heavy deadlift with over 500 pounds, shrug it a few times at the end. No, not yet. I'm trying to get monetized. I have I'm coming up on 5,600 subscribers. That's my goal, to get monetized. I got to get a better camera. I'm doing it on an iPhone 14. I want to get a good camera in here, in my gym here. It's all it is an old shed, I got a lot of good equipment though in here. Yeah, I'll give you a little tour. Here we go. Here's a little tour. Some iron over here. I got a lot of iron. I have it on both sides of my brand new Titan power rack here with a monolift, and my Titan fat bench right here. It's fat. Then I got my utility bench over here. I got a dumbbell. My dumbbell rack is over here. That was given to me a couple of months ago. I have these old school squat stands over here. They're probably from the 60s. I don't really, I use it just to curl on, but they used to squat off of those. I got my Texas squat bar right there. That's a 55-pound bar. That's my bench bar. It's over here. That's an old bar I bought. That was like first bar I ever had right over there. Right there is it folds down to a seated calf machine. No, sorry, a standing calf machine or a Viking press for shoulders. I got more iron right here, a lot of iron. Some of my wall of iron over here, a lot of my friends are on that. Over there, some of my trophies are over there. I got an old school hack squat machine, old school sit up board, an old school calf machine right here. That was built in the 60s, Jubinville. My my deadlift platform is right here, right there, and that's a Texas deadlift bar. And I made a deadlift platform out of plywood, and I got a deadlift jack. Then I got my heater going over here, one of those Amish heaters, right there. That's about it. Got my wall of iron over here. Yeah, it's a good setup. It gets the job done. I got plenty of iron, man. Plenty of. I think I got nine. I can put 945s on each side of the bar. I have so many curl bars. One, two, three. I have like five different curl bars, and I have like, let's see, one, two, three, four. I have six 45-pound bars. What's the most I've deadlifted? 600 pounds. I did 600 pounds in my gym at 53 years old. And then I did 600 pounds in competition. And that's the only time I've done 600 pounds at 54 years old, 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. I also have a competition bench that's taken apart over there and another squat rack over there that's taken apart. There's no room over it. Yeah, I got to get my deadlift back up there. Right now, I'm presently, which I can't believe. It's hard to believe. I'm squatting more than I can deadlift. I never thought that would be possible with me, you know? Yeah, we could have a squat party. I could set up the other squat rack. That would be fun. I got it over there in the back though. I got it at Walmart, man. I had that thing for years. It didn't cost me. I don't even think it cost me $300. You know. Yeah, so many bars in here, man. I got them everywhere. I want to get a squat bar, one of those safety squat bars. Yeah, maybe a trap bar. I have never tried a trap bar deadlift in my life. I've done um, shrugs with it, but never tried it. Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. Yep, I have a beautiful fiance. Uh, this is our house over here. This is just a shed on the property. It's a shed on the property. Right now, I'm remodeling the basement. I'm also a professional painter, drywall, carpentry. I don't do that for a living right now, but I have before in the past. I've remodeled several rooms in here. We met just over 2 years ago on Facebook dating, and she's my soulmate, man. I'll tell you. I was only on Facebook dating for like 3 days, and I met her. Um, it's fantastic. It's been fantastic. She's a nurse. Yep. Where are you from? I am from Fairhaven, Massachusetts, originally on the southeast coast of Massachusetts. And I've lived several places. I lived in Florida for 16 years, West Palm Beach area, and also in southern Illinois for about 6 years. Yeah, yeah, she's beautiful person. We're in love, man. We never hardly ever argue. Little tiny ones, that's about it. We've never been mad at each other more than 5 minutes. Never, no. I don't tell her what to do with anything. I may have suggestions and she has suggestions. You know, I don't try to force anything on anybody. I just like say I don't like the way something one of her kids does or whatever. I suggest to her, well, maybe you should talk to him and say this. It's just a suggestion, though. Yeah, two kids. One is 22, and I got a grandson too. I call him my grandson. My dream of the future, man. I don't know. Good question. Just keep living the good life that I'm living now. Every day has been a gift for me since I got sober. I was homeless on and off for over a decade and a half, in and out of nut houses several times. I was in a nut house like 4 times. I got sober just over a decade ago, in and out of homeless shelters, different rehabs, going back to the mid '90s. This all the way from the mid '90s to 2015, January 11th. Man, my life was hell, pretty much on and off. Uh, I just want to stay sober a day at a time and just do the best I can. Keep lifting heavy as long as I can. Um, Short-term goal, I have a 523-pound squat record for the American Powerlifting Federation. I originally set it, I did 520, and then I broke it with 523.6. How did I get money when I was homeless? My father passed away in 2009 and left us some money. So I was getting a little check for $1,000 a month. And on and off, that's what kept me, like I'd get a little motel room, then spend all the money, then I'd be homeless for the rest of the month. Yeah, and I worked on and off, in the beginning. I became pretty much unemployable in the last few years of my addiction. Yeah, I was very much unemployable. The last job I had in my addiction is I started off with this company as a painter, and I worked in the restaurant doing the dishes a couple of nights a week. Then it became doing the dishes all the time, only 2 nights a week. Then he got me down to one night a week, and finally that was it. I couldn't even do that anymore. I couldn't even wash dishes. And that was probably in 2013. And that didn't work at all from 2013 to all the way to 2015 January. I was unemployable, man. One time a guy was going to have me help paint. And I couldn't even stay off the booze that morning. He could smell it, and he just said, "Yeah, get the hell out of here." I was drinking. Some guy brought into my motel room some kind of I forgot what it was, probably a bottle of vodka or something. But yeah, I ended up getting locked up on a felon. I had a felony warrant, class 3, which is class 4 is the least in Illinois. I got a class 3 felony, possession of under 5 grams of methamphetamine. It was not a trafficking charge or possession intent to distribute. It was personal amount. What it was is in my apartment, I had a burnt out pipe. It was a light bulb I made into a meth pipe, and I forgot it up in the ceiling tiles. And the cops raided my house, and that's all they could find was that. So they charged me with, they said, "Oh, we tested it, and the residue was methamphetamine in it." So I ended up going on probation for that. I went on probation, very strict probation. If I had completed it, I would not have had a felony on my record. And I couldn't stop drinking. I never did meth again, but once I got out of jail, I was in jail for almost 6 months, and I went to rehab, and I could not stop drinking once I got out of jail. It's not that I couldn't, I just wouldn't. And it doesn't work if you're on strict probation to drink alcoholically. It doesn't work. It's not something that's going to work out. So I ended up toiling around. I ended up absconded from probation. God, it was probably over a year before they got me in West Frankfort, Illinois. Finally, yeah, it was over a year and a half or something like that. And I don't know how they let me go that long. I mean, I had been to court a few times, and finally I didn't go back to court anymore. And then I got arrested again while on that probation. I got charged with possession of cocaine, which and driving under the influence while I was on that strict probation. But since I hadn't been found guilty yet, they still gave me a chance to stay on that probation. They didn't lock me up. They let me bond out. So I bonded out and I absconded. I never went back to court. And then finally, that was in August. Finally, in when was it? August, September, October, November, December, January, they caught up with me. Lost all in the sauces. Yeah, I lost everything. I didn't get anything pretty much. I had nothing. So I ended up doing my time. I ended up doing 10 months. And I went to prison for about 7 months. Not jail, but prison. Minimum security. When I got out of there, I just wanted to stay sober and see what I could make of my life. I didn't know if it was too late or not, as I was in my mid-40s at the time when I got sober, 46. I remember turning 47 in Graham Correctional. I was Graham Correctional. It was classification is when I turned 47. So that's where I celebrated my birthday in there. I got released. I went in, when did I go in? January 11th, 2015. And I got released from prison from everything right after Thanksgiving the same year, 2015. And then I went into a federal/state run halfway house. Very strict. They breathalyzed you. To go anywhere, you had to have a counselor sign your paperwork. To go to a meeting, if you wanted to go to a meeting, if you wanted a job, go for a job, you had to have it signed off. They breathalyzed you, metal detected you when you went in. You had count time. That was for 3 months I was in there. And I don't think very many people stayed sober in there, but I did, you know. I was determined to turn my life around. And I started working out in there 10 years. That's been 9 years now. I've been out of there on my own. I've been out of there and on my own for over 9 years. I got sober over 10 years ago. But yeah, I was drinking 24/7 in the end there, pretty much. So I ended up getting sober in a town of about 18,000 called Marion, Illinois. That's where there's a prison there where John Gotti was in. It was a maximum security, and also they have a minimum security that Pete Rose was in. That's what they're known for. They have a big prison there. It used to be the Super Max for federal inmates in Marion. But yeah, I just bummed around from there. I went to I was in one homeless shelter in Marion. God, 6 times. They kicked me out 6 times, but they let me back in 6 times. And then I was also in the one in Carbondale. There's a homeless shelter there. And I went in there one time. That was the last homeless shelter I was in. The last institution other than going to prison. I call it an institution. But yeah, I changed my life completely around. I started lifting weights in prison. When I got out of there in the halfway house, I was doing body exercises, you know, push-ups, pull-ups, etc., lunges, squats, body squats. And then I joined a gym once I got out of there. 48 years old. Was I 48? Let me think. Yeah. No, I was 47, turning 48. So that's when I really started working out hard. About 48 years old. I quit smoking later that year. I was smoking cigarettes when I got out of lockup for a little while. Not long, for a few months. And I gave up the tobacco dip. I was doing Copenhagen a couple of years after that. So I'm completely nicotine free, alcohol free, drug free, no pot, nothing, man. I'm done, you know. Oh, that's about it, you know, for my story. Life is good today. My goals are to just keep doing what I'm doing for as long as I can as far as the lifting. Uh, Build a life with my fiance. and watched my grandson grow up. I call him my grandson. He just turned 7 months, I believe. Or he's coming up on 7 months. Coming up on 7 months. I remember when you were in Illinois. Oh yeah, David, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Wow, you remember that in Carmine, Illinois? Wow, man, that brings back memories. I still have videos on another channel. I enjoy the cigar every now and then. That's fine. You know, if you enjoy it, no problem. You know. Yep, I can't do any nicotine or anything like that because I get addicted very quick to nicotine. Yeah, that was definitely the turning point, David. Yep. You remember me though from Carmine Fitness? Yep. Boy, I watch those videos now, man. My form has gotten so much better since then. I used to do what you call a good. I mean, I was always pretty, brute strong, but I would do what you call like a good morning squat. You know, the good morning exercise. My back would be bent over. Yeah, that's a lot. Well, yeah, I used to smoke about two packs a day, and never again, never do that. Yeah, the cigars are much better. If anything, Yeah, definitely think it's much better smoking the cigars. The dip, doing dip, the Copenhagen, it was kind of a nasty habit, pretty nasty. And, I always had a spit cup and everything. I'm glad I gave that up, man. Really glad. I'll be competing again in May. I think it's May 17th or something like that. The not Ann. What it means is Canadian American Championship in Brattleboro, Vermont. Uh, Jesse Ventura used to say, stopping tobacco is harder than getting a. Oh, I agree. It was pretty hard. Pretty hard. Yeah, I had a little addiction to heroin in Illinois, but it was so expensive there. That's where I did it the most. So expensive there. I never really did it much for too long. Good thing I didn't live somewhere like where I live now. And the fentanyl hadn't come around too much yet when I got sober. It was out, but it wasn't quite out like it is now. Yeah, getting off nicotine sucked, I admit it. You can't play around with it. You just got to stop. That's all. Yeah, definitely hardcore. No, I agree. Yeah, you just got to stop, you know. You got to go through hell, those 4 or 5 days of hell. Getting off opioids sucks too. I did that. Xanax is probably worse. I got off of that. I've been on every little thing, every drug you can think of. So there is no more playing around for me. I've done it all. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, true soldier. I'm starting to do some more bodybuilding stuff, trim down a little bit. I'm getting too old to be the size I am now. Anybody? I've had comments in there. What's this? You sniff? That's all this is right here. Here's another bottle. I got this from West Side. Uh, Cold cock. That's all it is. It's ammonia, smelling salts. That's all it is. It's not a big deal. A lot of people say, "What is that he's sniffing?" You get this online. I got this from my friend online. Yeah, that's all it is. It's not a big deal. Shit, I'll do it right now. Not a big deal at all. It just opens up your sinuses and clears your head a little bit. That's all. But I'm gonna go eat in a little bit here. It's good to talk to everybody, and everybody have a blessed night. We'll go live again tomorrow. I enjoy this. We'll talk some more. Yeah, it's fun to use it. Just gives you something to do. Not a big deal though. You all have a good night. God bless.